Hello students, today in this video I am going to talk about the Belt Road Initiative, and this video is in continuation with my previous discussion on the most probable means topic. So today in this video what we are going to do, that first of all we will understand that what is BRI, and then we will see that what is the status of Belt and Road Initiative and how the Western countries, especially US, perceives BRI, how the European countries perceives BRI, and then we will see that what is the reaction of India. And lastly, I will just talk about the country-wise analysis of BRI and the criticism of this initiative of China. But just I want to mention here that most of the points with respect to BRI or most of the keywords of the Belt and Road Initiative you are already aware. But in this video, what will make the difference is the perception of the West. Everybody knows that BRI is to maintain and to challenge the US hegemony, maintain the Sinocentric world order and challenging the US hegemony. This is a unidimensional understanding of BRI. We will understand from the economic perspective, political perspective, strategic perspective with respect to US understanding of the BRI, European understanding of the BRI. So now we will just talk about the Belt and Road Initiative, that what is the meaning and why and what are the pillars of the BRI. So BRI is basically the strategy of China to stimulate trade and economic growth. So why they are focusing upon stimulating the trade and economic growth? The reason is regional integration. The reason is regional integration. So this BRI has two components. One of the component is road initiative, and another component is maritime Silk Route, Basically, both these routes are covering South Asian countries, Southeast Asian countries, Central Asian countries, Russia, Turkey and Europe. So now you can see here that how this Belt and Road Initiative having both the components is depicted in this particular picture. Now if I want to talk about the pillars of BRI, then the pillars of BRI, the very first pillar is infra connectivity. Second is financial integration. Third is increased trade. And fourth is people to people connect. So this is the basic understanding of BRI that you can use directly in your examination. And from this BRI, the question has been asked in 10 marker earlier also. So now we will see that what is the status of BRI right now. So I just want to tell you that more than 60 countries in the world have signed the BRI agreement with China, and approximately 2,970 projects worth of $4 trillion is already going on under BRI. And if I go by the country-wide status, then in Algeria, China is developing El Hamnidia deep seaport. In Pacific Islands, Cook Islands, Fiji, here China is developing tourism. And in Samoa, China has provided grants. In Greece also, China is developing port and airports both. In Turkey, Canal Istanbul is being developed by China. Then in Pak and Bangladesh, we all know that in Chittagong in Bangladesh and Gwadar port in Pakistan is being under construction, or you can say upgradation of these ports is already being done by China under BRI. So this is the status of Belt and Road Initiative today. This question can come anytime. They will not ask about the BRI because they know you already have read from the different magazines in the market. But the status is not mentioned in any magazine. Therefore, the question or the probability of the question from here is more. Now we will see that how West perceives. So I will say in America, there are different circles of thought or different schools of thought. For example, policy makers or the foreign policy makers in America looks at BRI differently from the academician or from the circles of think tanks, and the economic circles look at BRI differently from these two. But I am talking about a large picture of American perspective on BRI. So I will say economic perspective of USA is the BRI wants to go away with dollar-based financial system. Dollar-based financial system. Most of the foreign exchange reserves, if you will see in China, is dominated in US Treasury bonds. US Treasury bonds. And China is reinvesting these bonds in renminbi dominated bonds, and just want to make the renminbi as a international currency. We all know that in IMF, China has been largely successful. Then if I talk about geostrategic understanding, then everybody knows that China wants to have Sino-centric world order, challenging the US hegemony. Then another perspective from America, you can see that is the personal goal of Jinping. Personal goal of Jinping is to revive the Chinese nationalism through BRI. Another perspective is China wants to push its surplus, be it capital, be it labor, in the construction sector through setting different infrastructure projects in different countries. So this is the perspective of America. Now we will see what is the perspective of Europe. So largely you will see that the Europe is not too much discomfort or having no discomfort with BRI, but there is one apprehension amongst all the European countries except Hungary and Greece that BRI does not follow the EU standard with respect to labor, environment and human rights. With respect to labor, environment and human rights. Angela Merkel has also said that through BRI, China wants to capture the Balkans region. But why I told you Hungary and Greece is different? Because they have signed the BRI agreement, bilateral agreement. So I will say largely there is a paper published in EU recently that talks about the cohesive nature of the BRI, but each and everything depends upon when BRI conforms to the EU standards of labor, environment and human rights. Now we will see what is the perspective of India. So we all know about the CPEC, but I just want to tell you that there is 3 schools in India. First is optimistic school. Those always support the BRI. Second is a skeptic, those who deny the existence of BRI even. And the third is cautionary approach, cautionary schools of thought. But if you will see in India's foreign policy, then there is an atomistic approach. There is an atomistic approach. Atomistic approach, why I am telling? Because you will see that two major components of BRI in this region is BCIM, economic cooperation, Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar, and the second is CPEC. So India is not against this BCIM but against CPEC. Why? It is because CPEC is passing through a disputed territory, or you can say Pak occupied region in Kashmir. What is CPEC? Through CPEC, 1100 kilometers of motorway China is developing connecting Karachi and Lahore, plus upgrading the Karakoram highway, and CPEC is passing through Gilgit-Baltistan region, which is India's region. This is the reason that India is against the CPEC component of BRI in this particular region. So the total cost of CPEC was 47 billion when it was started, but today the valuation of the projects in CPEC is of 62 billion US dollar. So now we will see that what is the criticism. So you can write the criticism with help of some examples. So I just want to mention Sri Lanka here. In Sri Lanka, Chinese projects are called as white elephant. In Pakistan, Chinese power firms have denied to supply the power if China fails to give the loan to the Chinese power firms. In Malaysia, if you will see, then they have cancelled Trans Sabha connectivity, which is a part of One Belt, One Road initiative, because they are telling we need to reduce the debt and loan. Now, if you will see, in case of another countries also, it is being perceived that BRI is first creating a debt and then taking the asset. And best example is Zambia International Port, Zambia International Airport. China has constructed this, and now Zambia failed to give the first installment, and now China is taking over and taking the asset in Zambia. So these are the examples, or these are the criticism which you can substantiate in your answer by giving these particular example. Another criticism, some of the commentators are of the view that the BRI helps the China in deviating the people of Republic of China from the domestic concern, and also Xi Jinping personal elevation as a political leader. He wants to show to the people of China that China is equal to Xi Jinping and Xi Jinping is equal to China. So this is the criticism which you can mention in your answer. So now if you will see, then this particular topic, that is the BRI, has been covered comprehensively. So now in the next video, I will again come with one important probable topic. So I hope all the video is adding value to your preparation for mains 2022. Thanks.